I want to say a massive thank you to Alpha Batteries. So, hello everyone and welcome back to another build episode. This is episode 25 and we're going to be starting the electrics. I imagine there's going to be a 2-part, maybe even 3-part series on doing the electrics. In fact, it probably will be a 3-part because the solar, which I haven't got around to doing because I've already got some solar panels, so I'm just leaving it temporary for the moment. But anyway, this video is all about these big batteries. They are, I'll put a picture on screen of them now. Because they're down on the floor and they're very heavy. I want to say a massive thank you to Alpha Batteries for giving me a 50% discount, and I would really recommend them because we used them in my dad's boat, and that's why I went to contact them again, because they're an amazing company. They only sell good products and they sell a whole variety of batteries, not just for vans, for golf carts, for starter batteries, for motorhomes, for vans, for caravans, for just general starter batteries. They sell everything you could ever want, even lithium, lead acid, lead carbon, AGM, just everything. These are the Energy Expedition Plus and they're 115 amp hours, and these ones are a super deep cycle AGM, so they can do 750 cycles at 50, whereas most AGM are only 600 cycles at 50%. So they're really good batteries. I would recommend them. I'll put a link to these ones in the description, and I'll make sure I put Alpha Batteries in the description because they are amazing. Just look nowhere else. That is the place to go for batteries. Almost forgot about my tea. But what we're going to do before we do the batteries is, under here I have my Victron, I don't know if you can see that, you probably can't. It's a Victron Orion-Tr 1218 amp. It's the battery to battery charger. It's the isolated version, so there is a positive and a negative for charging, and it is triggered. It needs a trigger wire. It's not auto, it's not the smart one. And the reason I got that is because a friend off Instagram gave that one to me because Victron sent him the wrong one, and then just sent him another one, so he gave it to me. So that was really nice, and thank you very much for that. You know who you are. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be moving this to the back, to under the bed, where the batteries are, obviously, and I'm going to be using this big 6mm cable, and this supports up to 95 amps, so plenty, basically. And the battery to battery charger is only 18 amps, so it'll be absolutely fine. And I've got some trip switches to go on the starter battery side and also the leisure battery side, and there's everything. So we're just going to make a start and we'll see where this video goes, really. But first I've got to run 2 lengths of this because it's only single core, from the front to the back, and that's also the same cable for the solar. I just ordered it all in one batch. 25 whole meters. Anyway, let's get started. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the 6mm cable, and it's going to come out from there. It's going to come out through the little gap, and then they're going to go back that way. This is the negative one that I've just taken off too. And this is the signal wire, so I need a signal wire going from all the way from the back of the van to the front, and basically I'm going to wire it into the cigarette lighter here, because I'm replacing this cigarette lighter with a USB, so then you've got 12-volt socket and USBs. And the reason I'm doing that is because that cigarette lighter is only active when the ignition's on, but I will install a separate switch in case you haven't run your van in a long time, the battery's a bit low, and you don't want the battery charger on while you're trying to start the van, because the ignition's on when you're trying to start the van. So then there's going to be this 25 amp trip switch, which will always trip before the cable gets too hot. So the B2B is an 18 amp and this is 25 amp. So as you can see, I've crimped a connector onto the end of the 6mm, and I've bolted it down, and then it comes through here and into the trip switch, and I've put a little bit of red tape so you know it's positive, and then I'm going to continue running that all the way back. So if you look down here where the fridge is going, all my cables are run, and there's a really good tip that I kind of just found. So these pipe clips that you can open, like they've got a little cap, they're really good for like cables, and you can put a load of cables in them. I find them really useful because then they're modular, so if you want to add something, you can just clip it open, add another cable and shut it. So I've got a crap ton of cables here, as you can see, so I've had to use 2 of them. I still need to get another one for here to clamp these down. And then these white boards here that you can see, these are for, because basically I couldn't fit all my electrics in like in between these bits of batten. So by adding some ply like to there and screwing it to the CLS, I can use further up there without like there being a bump, and that gives me more space. But what I'm first going to do is use the 6mm cable to run the solar cable up to above the cupboard, because that cable coming through that hole is the ceiling lights up there. Where is it? Up there. So I'm just going to run that, because once I put these boards on, it'll be obviously hard to get to that. Another thing I've quickly done is put some massive screws and a small bit of CLS, this end, into the floor, and as far through as I can. It doesn't specifically go into the batten, but I just use some big screws. And then lots of washers and a big screw as well into this tie down point. And these are really good. They came with the van, and for some reason I only kept 2, which was silly because I need another one because I've used one for the water butt. But these are really good for like batteries, water butts. So when you're taking apart your van, if you've got these, make sure you save them because they're really useful. Okay, so I've just ran the solar cables. They're just coiled up in the ceiling for now until I get around to doing the solar panel. It just means I don't have to, because I want to put the cupboard ends on and stuff, and it means, like I say as well, you can't actually, once I put these white panels on, you won't be able to access those holes. So it was a bit of a faff getting it through as it was last time, because you got to bring it down the wall there. But I got there in the end, and it's all sorted now. So now I'm just going to cut a hole for the cables to poke through on the white boards, because I didn't do that. And then I can wire up the B2B and put the batteries in place, batten them around, and start crimping the 50mm cables for the battery. And what I'm thinking of doing is putting a hole in this little bulkhead here in the bed area, so then you could open it and you could switch on and off the inverter, and if a fuse goes, same problem. I can store the fuses in a drawer in the kitchen, and then you can just see which one, because they light up, and then you can just replace it without having to go through the back doors if it's raining or something. So that's my little idea. I'm going to put a little hatch here, so easy access to the back. So here we are, everyone. As you can see, I've got the battery to battery charger mounted. So then here is going to be the fuse box, and this cable is the solar cable. Like I said, I just threaded that through, and the solar charge controller will eventually be sat here on the end, and there might be a battery charger somewhere squeezed right on the end eventually. And then these are the battery to battery chargers that go to the engine here, and they are going to go into the input obviously, and then right at the end is going to be the inverter. So like I said, I'll put a hole in the bulkhead area there in the end of the bed, and then you'll be able to stick your hand through and turn it on and off. So yeah, the bus bars will be mounted here. I was hoping to mount the trip switches here, but it doesn't look like they'll fit. But what I might do, because the positive and negative are like right next to each other, I might bring the positive up there, the negative over here, and then the trip switches in the middle. I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of working it out as I go along, really. So this seems plenty strong enough, and it looks so nice. There's going to be a control panel inside with like a temperature meter. There's going to be a Victron BMV, and also the Wi-Fi box. They'll all be mounted there, and then I'll have the antenna of the Wi-Fi going through the roof as well. So what I'm going to be doing is joining the batteries now. They want to be as close a length as possible for joining the batteries and for going to the appliances, so also the bus bar like me. So the positive is going to join this way, and because I don't like the idea of them overlapping because of van and vibrations, I'm going to put the negative coming around this way, because there's going to be a fridge here, so it's not going to get in the way. So the negative is going to go around that way, and then the positive around this way, and that should all be good. And you just want to go around, and then you want to crimp it with some big heavy duty crimpers. I would recommend buying some. And again, like I say, a massive shout out to Alpha Batteries, because they are amazing company. Also, what I've just done is I boxed it in, as you can see, so these batteries are not going anywhere, and I'm using those, like I showed you earlier, the tie downs, and I'm going to put a ratchet strap over it and properly get it down. But currently I don't have the other one, and also I don't have a ratchet strap. So, but it's okay because this van doesn't move anyway, so there's no worry so far, but I will make sure I do that and it may be included in this video. Okay, so after about 1 million years, the bus bar's finally arrived. It's still the same day, it's just like many hours later. It said between 12:41 and 4:41. It literally arrived at about 4:38. It was ridiculous. Anyway, they're here now, so there's no point in complaining. So I've got, like I showed you earlier, the trip switches. Now, I was kind of imagining that the wheel arch box would be wide enough to carry both of them, and I mean it is, but you've got to take into account the bend of the cable and stuff, and it's just not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to mount that there in between the B2B and the fuse box. We're going to start cutting cable to go from there, etc. And we've got to take into account the shunt and the isolator switch. So, hello everyone, I got the bus bars in properly. This is where the shunt's going to go, and this is where the, I think I said this is where the isolator switch is going to go. I got the B2B working this morning because it was playing up last night. It turns out on the negative of the starter battery it was just a loose connection, so I swapped it over to another one and it was all fine. So that charges the batteries fine. I just gave them a quick charge with the solar and went for a walk, came back and they're fully charged. So the fuse box should be coming today, and it is currently the next day, and it says between 12 and 4 again. No, between 12:44 and 12:44. So we shall see if it turns up. I hope it doesn't turn up right at the last second, because I hope to get it done today before it gets dark. I shall prepare all the wires, and like I say, because I ordered the 25mm cable instead of the 16, for now I'm going to be using the 6mm cable because it supports up to 95 amps, so it's absolutely fine. It will do the fuse box just fine. And I'm also going to run the power to the left of the fridge where the power outlets are going to be, so it's going to be 2 DC 12 volt sockets and then 2 USBs. So I'm really happy with how this is looking at the moment. And it's looking really neat and stuff, and when I get the fuse box I'll make sure that all comes out really neat. There we are everyone, all I've done is run those cables, put some spade connectors on them, they go down there, then they go along where the fridge is going to go. This fuse box is now empty, as you can see half the screws are out of it. And then when you move over here, you can see there's a load more cables that now come by. And they'll come there, and they're all sticking out here, they're all different lengths, because I was doing this before I got the actual fuse box. I was listening to some stuff on some podcasts, Eamon and Beck, on my phone, and then I just looked at my phone and it was on 14%, so I was like, oh cool, I can test it. Oh no, I still don't have the fuse box to hook the USBs up, but I just got it plugged into the little charge controller for now. And I also put the shunt in temporarily too. Hello everyone, the fuse box has arrived. Here we are. It looks very nice. and it doesn't really have a top or a bottom, but I'm definitely going to put the negatives at the top. So like I said earlier, so the negative's got a longer wire to go around, because otherwise the negative's just going to go and it'd be really short. So I want to like give the negative some length, and then the positive's got to come across into the isolator switch and then back in to the positive terminal. Sorry, that way around. So some of these are already crimped. I'm going to try and leave them, but if I decide it gets too messy, because I do want to do the more specific lengths, so if those ones just look messy because they're already pre-cut, I will just cut the connectors off and re-crimp them. Okay guys, so what I've done so far is added the power to this. As you can see, there's 2 red lights, and also hooked up the 2 that were the correct length already, and had the connectors from the old fuse box. But now basically what I'm going to do, I've turned the tap, I've opened the tap, and all the lights are, well, on, because they make a beep when they turn on. So let's see. That is a light. Now what light, I don't know, I'm going to have to look through. So I'm going to work out which ones these are, and then I'll film doing the other, what, like 5 or something there is. So, hello everyone. I know I didn't film it, but that was because, one, I think I showed you crimping before yesterday. So yeah, so I'm really proud of this. It looks quite neat, if I'm honest with you. And yeah, so I didn't film it also because my camera's on its way out in terms of battery. It's flashing red now. I'm hoping it doesn't die while I'm talking. But you put this on, and I've used the labels for temporary names so far. But I plan to either use a label maker. I've got roof lights for the ceiling lights, and I've got interior lights for the bed, and then steaming lights for the kitchen, because it kind of relates. And then there's water pump, and then heated seats for the heater. So, hello everyone, my camera died last night, very sorry about that. Now why am I in here? It's because I forgot to show you this. So you can see this little cable sticking out here, and yeah, so that was just the trigger wire for the B2B, and I thought I'd show you that. And I got it all routed properly down there, and I'm already sorry I started editing this video and it's a bit long, so if you're still here, thank you very much. If there is anyone still here, thank you very much. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, now around to the back, and I shall finish talking and end this part 1. So yes, it is another wonderful sunny February day. It's currently 26th of February. But anyway, I know I'm overexposed and this door's overexposed, but that's because I kind of want you to see the work that I did. But yeah, so I put the heater on last night because it was really cold last night. It was been quite warm recently, and I haven't run the heater. But it was back down to like -1 because the clear skies, not a cloud in the sky at the moment. Yeah, so that was the first real test for the batteries, because until then I hadn't used them until last night. And I'm glad my battery died last night, because now I can give you a really good talk of these batteries, and they are amazing. They didn't go below 12.7. I had the heater running for like 4 hours, and that was just from the night time onwards. And yeah, I'm so pleased with these batteries. Like I say, just if you need batteries for your van, go to Alpha Batteries. And if you're not sure like what kind of batteries you need, whether you need like lithium, whether you should invest in the lithium or just go for the AGM, John, if you email John, it's the like sales@alphabatteries.co.uk, you can, he'll talk you through them if you're stuck, and he's a really good help. I know some other people who didn't know what they were talking about, emailed him and they got exactly what they wanted. So great customer service at Alpha Batteries too. So yeah, make sure you click that link in the description and go visit their website. But yeah, so I'm really pleased. This Victron Orion-Tr works really well now, because I had a small little issue with it, but it was the starter battery. The bus bars, very pleased with them, and very pleased with all the cabling. Stripped 16 cables and then the 2 inputs, so that's 18. It was ridiculous how many cables I was doing last night. And yeah, these little pipe clips, if you need something to tie down your cables, definitely use these. I think mine is the 15mm for the PVC piping, it's just the 15mm one. I think you can get them in 22 as well. So yeah, so be sure to subscribe because there'll be a part 2 and a part 3. I haven't quite worked out what they'll be about yet, but I'm definitely sure it's going to be 3 parts, judging how long this one is. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you are, and drop a comment down below so I know if you enjoyed this video, because I put a lot of effort into this and a lot of money, and I'm really proud of the outcome, and I've tried to video it as best I can. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment down below, make sure you're subscribed, hit that bell icon, and I'll see you next week.